Welcome to the course Mental Health and Well-Being. And myself is Dr. Anish. I am a clinical psychologist. I am working in IIT Kanpur as a student counselor. And this topic is very important. Today we are trying to learn what is emotional skills, especially advanced emotional skills and boundaries. How it is effective, how it will be influencing our day-to-day life when you are growing in your personality, in your day-to-day life, how these boundaries and emotional skills will enhance your daily life. Today we are trying to understand what exactly the feelings and how it is healthily, in what way we can practice it healthily to express our emotions in a better way. And this presentation aims to provide practical skills and insights, empowering you to enhance your emotional well-being and strengthen the relationships. Now we will try to discuss about what exactly the definition of emotional validation. Emotional validation acknowledging and accepting another person's emotions are real and legitimate. For example, it doesn't mean you have to agree with their feelings, but rather understand and respect them. Emotional validation always builds trust, reduces distress, and strengthens relationship. Validation means acknowledging or listening and showing empathy. They are key to emotional validation. Active listening and reflective responses demonstrate understanding and support. Then what exactly is the invalidation? Invalidation is simply dismissing or minimizing, criticizing the emotions of others and not ready to accept what they are mainly trying to express it. And what exactly the way in which you can express your emotions and how it is ventilated. For example, whenever somebody is telling that I am tired, too much of busy schedule, too much of work pressure or academic distress, I am not able to sleep properly. So the party is trying to express his emotions, and the person who needs to ventilate it is trying to express it in a way that I want to express it because I am not able to manage by myself. So emotional expression prevents emotional build-ups. Sometimes when you are not properly ventilating the emotions, it can cross the threshold level where you feel I'm not able to hold it further. That can cause into some kind of frustrations. Sometimes it may lead to anger outburst, and in some situations it may become like a different pathological behavior, like abnormal situations in our day-to-day life. Regularly expressing emotions avoid pent-up feelings that can lead to stress, again anxiety, other mental health issues. And healthy approaches to mental health ventilations or includes journaling. Journaling means talking to someone or writing something or making it in a visible way, talking to someone or expressing in a diary or something related with that one. Sometimes it can be a professional, you can talk to a therapist so that you will be able to ventilate that particular emotion which is overwhelming in your life. And second thing can be, again, engaging into creative expressions like art therapy. Some people used to do some kind of hobbies, music, or other way of expressing your emotions. Sports can be one thing. And emotional expression encourages self-awareness. When you express your emotions, automatically it can help you to personal growth. It promotes understanding of one's emotional landscape, facilitating self-discovery and positive change. And in what way emotional ventilation can be possible, healthy or what is unhealthy in ventilating the emotions? Like as we discussed now, unhealthy ventilations are avoid harmful coping mechanisms such as suppressing emotions, which can lead to pent-up stress, resorting to aggressive outbursts that damage relationship, engaging in self-harm. And engage in constructive methods like journaling, record of feelings, talking to trusted individuals, expressing emotions through creative outlets such as painting or music, or seeking professional guidance through therapy can be considered as a healthy way of emotional expressions. And some more examples of emotional ventilation techniques. Deep breathing exercise. There we call as technique called box breathing. You will be putting like inhaling, holding, and while exhaling or pausing for a equal counts. For example, 3 seconds I am taking for inhaling, again 3 seconds for holding, and 3 seconds for exhaling. So like that you can do deep breathing exercise, simply concentrating on the breath, and on the same time you are concentrating on the counting. Then the second thing can be physical exercise, as we discussed, jogging, swimming, or yoga. All these kind of exercises or emotional expressions will release endorphins and all elevate stress and tensions, promoting emotional well-being and mental clarity. The third thing can be mindfulness meditation. Uh, Mindfulness, as you are aware about, cultivate present moment awareness through mindfulness meditation, focusing on the sensations or 5 senses, as you know, eyes, nose, tongue, skin. So through thoughts and emotions, and try to understand that is a triangle perspective. When your thoughts are there, from the outer stimuluses, external stimuluses, through the 5 senses, everything enters into the thoughts, and thought is automatically influencing your emotions. Even if your thought is positive, accordingly your emotion will be positive. Even the thought, the external sensations, outer stimulus is contributing something to negative thought, it will directly turn into negative emotions like sadness, fear, anxiety, stress, etc. Validating our emotions, step by step guide we are discussing in this particular slide. One is recognize and name. You need to understand what emotions is undergoing. For example, I am telling that I am tired, whether it is a tiredness or I am fed up, whether I am feeling hopelessness. So this is a way in which we are trying to recognize what exactly the particular emotion which I want to ventilate it. And that, along with that, try to understand that we try to name it and accept without judgment. Embrace your emotions without self-criticism or condemnation. Every emotion is good and there is nothing wrong in expressing any emotions. And for understanding, we try to divide into two, basically positive and negative emotions. And both the emotions are very important. And we call negative emotions always as a surviving emotions. Even if we don't have negative emotions, we will not get proper motivation to grow in our day-to-day life. And the third one is identity and address the cause. Identifying basically the emotions, explore the underlying reasons behind your emotions. Consider what events or thoughts or situations may have triggered them. That is very important. Environment is beyond our control. Sometimes this environment or multiple events which is occurring naturally in our life can cause emotions, and again it can cause overwhelming in our life. So now we try to understand how we can practice emotional validation for others. That's some of the key phrases which can be keep in our mind throughout our life. So these ways of phrases, when you use in your daily conversations, in your professional life with your colleagues, this can lead you to build a proper emotional ventilations, and it can enhance your self-esteem. Phrases like I understand why you feel this way. Always communicate. This is the way in which you are validating the other person's emotions, and that must have been difficult. That's another phrase. For example, when somebody is expressing their difficult situations with painful emotions, you must have been feeling very difficult. We need to accept it, validate it. And another phrase can be I hear you and your feelings are valid. That is very important. That is again the validation. Without judgment, you are thinking that other person's emotions are legitimate. And a ripple effect of emotional well-being, stronger relationship, improved mental health, and enhanced self-awareness. Open communication and trust are essential for building and maintaining strong, meaningful relationship. Improved mental health in the sense, when you prioritize self-care or stress management and emotional regulation, you are better equipped to handle challenges and maintain a positive outlook. And again, self-awareness can cause talking the time to reflect on your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, and it can provide valuable insight into your values, goals, and patterns. And here we will discuss about how you can master your emotional validation. Essential techniques are, as we discussed, recognizing, naming, and responding to emotions effectively. Learn how active listening and empathy can transform your interactions. So, here we will try to discuss in detail what is active listening, and this is the foundation of validation. Active listening can, you need to give a full attention to the concerned fellow who is communicating with you the emotional overwhelming things. Give the speaker your undivided attention. Actively listening, eliminate distraction, and focus solely on understanding their perspective. This creates a safe, sometimes personal space for them to express freely to you. And reflective responses is another important thing in active listening. By reflective responses, what I am trying to tell is reflect back on both the speaker's emotions and thoughts. This shows you are not only hearing their words but also grasping the underlying feelings. Use phrases like, "It sounds like you are feeling." And this way of validating the emotions or rephrasing the reflective responses can contribute to the other party to openly speak up. And again, active listening technique includes maintaining eye contact. That is very important from the very beginning of our childhood. Maybe in the school days, we used to hear from the teachers that while communicating with others, you need to maintain eye contact. So, what exactly is the eye contact means? Sustained eye contact conveys sincerity and engagement. Doesn't mean that you will always look into the other person's eyes, but instead of looking in the eyes, concentrate on the face liner, where you will be able to observing the other party, how the facial muscles are moving, moving. That kind of interactions will contribute some kind of active listening. And open body language, adopt an open and receptive posture. That is very important in our Indian culture. Crossed arms and slight lean forward, which indicates your willingness to listen and understand. And the third thing can be reflective statements again. So, what I hear you saying is to confirm your understanding and show empathy for the speaker's perspective and feelings. And there are a lot of studies which I am putting in the brackets. If you are interested, you can read more about this particular topic again. And the power of naming emotion, as I said, why we want to name the emotions. Maybe you may be expecting that when I am communicating that the other person, especially in relationship, the other partner may understand me better, or the friend of mine will be able to understand me better. Maybe the parents, maybe the teachers, they will be understanding me in a better way where I am feeling the same emotions. But sometimes it is not possible. So naming the emotion is very important. It will give you clarity and it will give you regulation. It will be automatically give a clear stance for the others to understand your vocabulary. Expands emotional vocabulary, equipping individuals with a richer and more nuanced understanding of the spectrum of human behavior, human emotions, enhancing communication and self-awareness. And this is very important to understand how the wheel of emotions, managing wheel of emotion is a concept in psychology brought by Robert Bulchick, and Bulchick wheel of emotions visual tool illustrating the relationship between different emotions. In this wheel of emotions, especially what he is trying to communicate is that, for example, there are 8 basic emotions and each emotions contains a lot of other emotions. For example, when I am saying joy means I am within me there is a feelings of delight or happiness. When I am saying trust, there is a again feelings, security and confidence. And this is a wheel, and when we are naming the emotions, this thing can be properly understood by the other party. For example, surprise. Even when I am saying that surprise, sudden feeling of astonishment is there, and this kind of communication, both the positive and negative emotions, will automatically give insight into the other party's mind, what I am trying to communicate in particular situation or particular event, and identify your emotions. For example, it can be considered as an activity. Reflect, take a moment to reflect on a recent experience that evoked strong emotions. Every day we are having a lot of events where you will be reflecting on different experiences with expressions of emotions. And identify, use the wheel of emotion to pinpoint if you are able to understand the specific emotions you felt during that experience, and explore, delve deeper into each emotion to understand its nuances and intensity. How much it was there out of 10 or out of 100. Sadness, how much I was feeling, or happiness, how much it was there. Along with the listening, the second thing is actively or responding with the empathy, validation in action. Acknowledgement is very important. Acknowledge the other person's feelings without judgment or criticism, showing acceptance and understanding. The second thing can be communicate. Communicate your understanding and empathy through verbal and non-verbal cues, creating a supportive and validating environment. Empower them by offering support and encouragement. And this is very important to remember. Always try to share your emotions, not suppressing. How sharing emotions can help build empathy and strengthen interpersonal relationship. Whenever you are trying to share your emotions with others, you will be having a space in their mind. They will be able to accept you as you are. They will consider you as a genuine person, and they also will have a kind of a reciprocal relationship, kind of a positive response. They will be trying to support you. What are the tools to foster the healthier emotional interactions? That's very important to remember in our daily communication skill. What are the healthier way of communicating your emotional interactions? The hidden costs of emotional suppression. Suppose if you are not emotionally expressing your emotions, instead of sharing, you are suppressing it. So what will be the hidden cost of emotion? It will increase your stress level, and it can cause some kind of psychopathological conditions like anxiety and depression, and even physical symptoms which we always feel in our day-to-day life: headaches, muscle tension, or chronic fatigue. The body's stress response is activated when emotions are suppressed, leading to physical discomfort and health issues. And try to understand that this kind of situations needs to be overcome through proper expression of your emotions. And suppression's impact on relationship. Communication barriers. Whenever you are not communicating properly with your emotions with the partner or with your friend or with your authorities, or when you are working in an environment where you feel that I am not able to communicate properly, it can cause communication barriers. Suppressing emotion can create barriers. And when individuals avoid expressing their true feelings, it becomes difficult to establish authentic connections. That is very important. And sometimes consistent emotional suppression can erode trust in relationship. The other party may not be able to understand you properly. On conflict escalation, unexpected emotions can accumulate and lead sudden intense outburst. This emotional explosion can damage relationships and create lasting resentment. Again, power of emotional sharing, connection, understanding and support. Whenever you are having a proper emotional sharing, it's a positive impact of emotional sharing. It will increase the sense of connection and intimacy. And the emotional sharing helps others understand our experience and perspectives. And same situations or same event can be experienced by different people in a different way. Maybe the situation will be the same, but the meaning making, I am making meaning out of that particular situation or experiences. So that is very important. So my understanding, it provides insight into our internal world and foster empathy. Support is also very important. When we share our emotions, we open the door for support and validation from others. And how you can again validate for building empathy through emotional sharing, that is very relevant along with the emotional validation and ventilation. Active listening is very important. As we discussed, what are the ways in which you need to have an active listening. And validation. Validating someone's emotion means acknowledging, again, accepting their feelings without judgment. It communicates that their emotions are legitimate and worthy of attention. And emotional reciprocity is a very important factor. Sharing our emotions in a response to someone else creates a sense of reciprocity and mutual understanding. And again, this is very important. Loneliness is a situation where nowadays people always engage into their own particular world where they don't want to engage with others. In social connection is very less comparing with the previous situations. So seek support, reach out to friends, family, or support groups to share your emotions and experiences. Surrounding yourself with understanding and caring individuals can significantly reduce feeling of loneliness. And join activities, engage in hobbies. When you are working in an institute or you are studying in college, there may be different clubs. Engage into different clubs or volunteer activities that bring you joy and connect you with same-minded people. Then practice empathy. That is very important. Show genuine interest in others' lives and emotions. Instead of always engaging into social medias or social like internet world, try to bring your attention to your neighbors, your roommates or your classmates, or wherever you are posted to that situations. And while we are concluding, try to understand that emotional awareness is very important in our day-to-day life. It is recognize and acknowledge your own emotions, especially identifying your feeling is the first step towards managing them effectively. And the emotional expression, find healthy ways to express your emotions, such as talking to a trusted friend, journaling, engaging into a creative activities. And empathy, practice active listening and validation when others share their emotions. Empathy will build stronger relationship and reduces feelings of loneliness. And these are some of the reflections on our lecture. Reflect on how you validate your own and other emotions. Consider journaling about your emotional experience and how you typically respond to them. And again, identify small steps you can take to improve your emotional awareness and expression. Perhaps you could schedule regular check-ins with a friend or start a gratitude journal. Almost keep a diary or a box in your room where you can consider it as a gratitude box. Whenever you are before going to bed, you can make a collection of things where you need to give thanks to people to whom you met on that particular day. So try to practice an examination of conscience in every day before you going to bed as a gratitude day or a gratitude time as an activity before going to bed. And finally, prioritizing emotional well-being. You can cultivate stronger relationship and build a more fulfilling life. Thank you for listening to this particular lecture and have a good time.